So happy to be here with Jose James. I'm Angela Stribling. Wow. Welcome back to the Capitol Jazz Fest. You know what? Your look is constantly changing.
Yes.
That is the first thing I noticed when you walk through the door. Let's talk about this look. You're giving us a little Jimi Hendrix, right? Is that what you're...
Yeah, a little Hendrix, a little Sly. Of course, Bill Withers, you know. I think it's a kind of overlooked for my generation how fly people were in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I do know.
Of course. You know, it's like, that was actually the kind of the pinnacle of like black style.
It was
you know?
it was good to be really young in that time because I love fashion. And then there was just so much of it. And a lot of creativity.
So much creativity.
Hence what you're wearing.
Yeah.
So, you know, people probably have a hard time putting you in a box, you know, musically. What genre shall we call Jose James? Some people say you're the jazz singer to the hip hop generation. How do you feel about that?
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think it all depends on your definition of jazz. You know, and for me, jazz has always gone from Louis Armstrong, Bessie Smith, all the way up to Ray Charles.
Okay.
So for me, jazz is pretty
blues.
big. Yeah. Or jazz influenced, like, you know, Quincy Jones doing the parts for Michael. I hear the jazz in everything. So in that definition, I'm cool with that.
So why did you choose that route, jazz?
You know what? I think it just called me. You know, I'm the hip hop generation, and I loved all the classic albums, Nas and Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul, MC Lyte. You know what I mean? It was just like incredible poetry because I love words. But I didn't have a good rap voice. And back then it mattered. You know what I mean? Now kind of everybody
like,
raps,
you don't really
know what I mean?
sound hard.
Exactly.
I can't even imagine you pulling it. Well, I don't know though.
Well, I'll confess on myself. So I went to the State Fair. I'm from Minneapolis. I went to the State Fair and they had like a record your own whatever booth. Nobody knows this. And Diggable Planets was like the hot band. And I loved them. So I went in and they had like the Music -1. So I did my little rap on that and then I heard it and was like, that was the end of my
like,
it was the end of my rap career forever. It was like
not the dream.
I remember just like listening to it, like destroying it, paying the money and like okay.
Head down, walking out.
Yeah, but you know my dad is a jazz saxophone player and he's a Latin conga player. So he was always kind of there, but I think there's that hesitation about doing what your parents do.
Early on, especially.
Yeah, you're like, oh, well, that's my dad's music. But, you know, one day I was 14 and I heard Take the A Train on the radio, Duke Ellington, and I was like, wow, this is different. I hadn't really heard swing. I was hearing a lot of contemporary stuff and it didn't make sense to me, but I heard like the pure essence and the joy of it and it really moved me. And then I just became a fan of it. And then when I realized, you know, Pete Rock and, you know, Prince Paul and all these people were sampling and using jazz, Rakim. And I went to see Juice and then I heard all these jazz samples. I was like, wow, actually jazz is really cool. Yeah. So I just wanted to be cool like them.
I love it.
And that's how it kind of started. And then I started singing on top of it. But jazz and hip hop have always been kind of like inseparable for me because of that 90s production.
I love that. And then I'm also curious, being from Minneapolis, how much has Prince influenced your style?
He's also in there.
I could see him too.
You know, it's interesting. I think Prince, I mean, I had two idols growing up, Michael Jackson and Prince. And of course, being from Minneapolis, having somebody putting my city on the map like that was so huge. I got to see Michael when I was 8, the Bad Tour, which just blew my mind.
Oh my goodness.
I'll never forget it, you know? But also to have somebody who grew up in the same neighborhoods that I did, who made it on an international level, really,
that great.
You're right, really kind of, yeah, it did something to me, you know? And I think the way he was able to move between genres in this amazing, fluid way also influenced me, you know?
I love that. When people look at you, they see this handsome guy who's constantly changing his style. We were talking a little bit about doing the whole DNA testing.
Yes.
Do people come up and say, okay, I don't know what your mixture is,
Absolutely.
and try to guess?
Absolutely.
But you did it recently. I did it. I'm waiting for the results. I cannot wait. because
a
my
big day.
family historian, this, as he gets older, it's my Uncle Mike. As he gets older, the stories are changing.
Right.
Like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
Uncle
the
Mike.
details get fuzzy, and you're like, what's that?
You know,
1960 or?
right. You said there was Cherokee. Now you're saying Choctaw. Anyway, so I did the test just to figure out. I mean, that's huge.
It's huge.
So you did it, and you got the results.
I did.
And?
I did it with AfricanAncestry.com, and I really wanted to know exactly where my people were from. And I found out I have a 100% match with the Mbundu tribe in Angola, which was like amazing because I knew nothing about Angola.
What, 100% match?
100%, yeah. And I've started doing some research. I mean, first of all, the relief I felt because on my mom's side, 11th generation Irish, it's well documented, every homestead and the whole thing, which is fascinating.
And you've been there. You've been to Ireland.
I've been to Dublin. I have a cousin, amazing painter there. So I have family there. And I am very connected to the singing aspect of
in
the Irish
Ireland.
people. Yeah, because people will break into song like at the drop of a hat.
It's in your DNA.
It's not a stereotype. Went out to a pub the first time and hanging out, and I'm like, this is cool. And then all of a sudden, like, this group of 20 people just started singing, and it was like perfect pitch, perfect melodic voices, and I was like, oh, okay, like
that makes sense.
I see this.
Yeah.
And Billie Holiday has a little Irish in her too, so.
And she's one of your idols.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wish she was still alive,
I know.
while I'm here. So, and a lot of people have influenced you and your style. You're here doing this wonderful Bill Withers tribute.
Yes.
Why Bill Withers?
Well, Bill has always been one of my touchstones, especially my live show. Like, I'll get into a groove and, a little Al Green might come out.
I know, you do this song. What is it?
Love and Happiness?
No, Simply Beautiful.
Simply Beautiful.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that song.
I mean, these are I think of them as like my uncles, my musical
They're
uncles.
your musical uncles.
Kind of like looking out, will tell you if you're getting it wrong. You know what I mean?
Especially Bill Withers.
Especially Bill Withers.
Oh, he will let you know.
He'll let you know. Yeah. And, Marvin Gaye also, and Bill Withers. And it evolved into this sort of like 15-minute medley of his songs that I never recorded. It would be like Ain't No Sunshine, Grandma's Hands, and Who Is He? And it was just kind of like jam. And people really started looking forward to that in my set.
Nice.
And so, after I think about 4 years of it, people was like, why don't you make an album of this? And I was like, yeah, I have my own journey I want to do. And then I realized this year he turns 80 on the 4th of July.
Wow.
And I thought, this is really the right moment, I think, to do a project dedicated to Bill. And originally it was just a live project. And then Don Was heard about it and he said, well, I want it on Blue Note. And I said, well, if it's on Blue Note, you have to produce it. And he said, cool. So it comes out September. We just recorded it 2 months ago in LA at Capitol.
Wow.
With Nat King Cole's piano. And, I mean, it was.
This was supposed to happen.
It was meant to be. And we got to meet Bill.
So what's his feeling about all of this?
He loves it.
I
think
he
he's
does.
kind of tickled. It's funny when you're that big of a legend, but that humble in a way, because I think he thinks of himself primarily as a songwriter, which is fascinating. Maybe Carole King is kind of a similar thing.
Yeah, that's nice. But also a great singer. I love his style.
I mean, I love, I'm like listening to this stuff like, how am I going to approach this? And I really wanted to get it right. So we ended up having dinner and he was like, yeah, cool. Like, I love all these. And I found out that Hello Like Before.
Another one of my favorite songs.
Right,
Oh.
is his favorite as a lyricist. So that kind of like, personal knowledge of the song helps me a lot. And it also helped me to meet him and realize he's giving me permission as a songwriter, so then I can interpret it my own way. So I'm not sort of fighting with the singer Bill. Not fighting, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, though. And the fact that you got a chance to sit down, break bread with him, and just connect. I was so happy to just know that you're coming back this year. This is your, how many times have you performed?
I think this is my second.
Okay.
But it might be my third, actually.
They're all running together?
They're all running together. I mean, but I believe this is my second year.
Okay,
Yeah.
welcome back.
I mean, I had an amazing time. Like, audience is ridiculous and soulful and so knowledgeable. You saw, you know, I had to bring the good band.
Yeah, you brought the good. Tell us a little bit about your band.
Well, Eric Harland is on drums. I mean, master drummer, world class. He's usually on tour with Charles Lloyd, so I can rarely get him, so this is like a very rare moment. Ben Williams on bass from DC. He's a prodigy and same kind of thing. Like, he just got back from Japan literally 2 days ago. So
wow.
Lucky to have him. Takeshi Obayashi on piano is Japanese, and he's sort of like my latest discovery. Nice. He's been in my band for 3 years, and he's incredible. He's so good. And then Brad Allen Williams on guitar from Memphis, bringing that soul, bringing that, because you know, it's country music too. It's sophisticated, but you have to keep it country. So he brings that grit, you know?
Yeah, it's so relatable. It's so relatable. You know what? I know why you're thinking it's 3 times. You did the cruise.
Exactly.
So you were here at the festival,
That's
and then
right.
you did the Sultry,
That's right.
Capital Jazz Super Cruise.
That's right.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back, and I know you love it. Everyone loves you. We're so happy that you're here.
It's a blessing.
Jose James, you're a blessing. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you.
And as you said, everyone seems to be enjoying your new look.
It's a vibe. It makes people happy. I think it reminds people of a different time. You know, when radio was everything, and you could just get in the car and, you know, put on I think there's a difference with the ownership of an album now with Spotify, and I'm not.
Oh, there is a big difference.
I'm not knocking it, but I remember like saving up to buy
an album,
Purple Rain,
yes,
on vinyl. Look, you know, and it's
you get to see the big
looking
picture,
at unwrap
the
it. It's
liner
like,
notes.
wow, you know, reading it, the artwork. What's he wearing?
Right.
And there were, you know, MTV was still very new, and there was
BET was still very new. I was on there.
Yeah.
For years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, it really, there was an ownership, I think, and that was different.
Yeah. So it's good to see you bringing some of that back and giving us all joy.
Exactly.
Jose James, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is pretty
Pleasure.
awesome. For Capital Jazz Fest, I'm Angela Stribling and Jose James.
Hey, this is Jose James, and you're watching Capital Jazz TV.